Do I do it again? Hello? Where am I going? Why am I...
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for us.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Games Nathan Likes, and today I'm going to be playing The Beginner's Guide. Now, I know this is unrelated to the other games that I've recently been playing on my channel. This was a game that I've been wanting to play for a while, because the Stanley Parable is one of my favorite games, and I've been wanting to play The Beginner's Guide for a while. Based on what I know about this game, all I know is that it is made from the same people who made the Stanley Parable. That's all I know about it. I have nothing else to base this game off of. Never seen any video or walkthrough, so I'm going to dive into this blind. And Dad, if you're watching this, I hope you enjoy this game too, because I know the Stanley Parable is also one of your favorite games as well. So, without any further ado, let's dive right on into The Beginner's Guide. Let's begin! Standard controls, I like that. WASD. Just like Stanley Parable.
Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named CODA. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met CODA in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike. You can walk around here, by the way.
Alright.
And mostly it's just CODA learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level. And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of CODA's games. I mean, not that they're all fascinating as games, but that they are all going to give us access to their creator. I want us to see past the games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, CODA starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point, he jokingly renamed his computer's recycling bin to Important Games Folder. So, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game, and then he hasn't made another one since. And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people like you who play this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to CODA. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveywreden@gmail.com. Okay, that's about it for introduction. Let's take a look at CODA's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Okay then. Froze for a moment. Whoa! The heck?
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games you'll see from Coda.
I didn't know I was playing a shooting game.
You can click to fire the gun.
Okay. Where am I supposed to go?
Security call reached. Hostile alien life form inbound.
It kinda looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
You don't
For instance,
say.
You have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets. But ultimately we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Okay.
Enemy force neutralized. Begin ship evacuation.
Where am I supposed to go? Oh, up here.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
Huh.
Apparently this space station has a labyrinth on it. Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh. Well, alright then.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The
Am I
game
gonna
has
die?
this narrative about the Whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Huh.
Hey,
Whoa.
you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the Whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give yourself?
I guess so. Let's see what lies ahead. Oh.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably what Coda had initially intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh. Do I do it again? Hello? Where am I going? Why am I...
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for me. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it. Like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind. Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
Whoa, what the heck? Yeah, I was wondering why I couldn't move forward left and right. Where the heck am I going? Whoa. This is unusual.
So it's a short and relatively experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
When she stops and looks, it becomes clearer. But the future is always behind her. How will she find the strength to confront it?
It's a short little thought, it says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
Hey, I can walk this time. Yay. Where am I now? What is this place? Now I can barely see my surroundings.
And that's it. The meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting.
I wonder if these are actual
Oftentimes,
games.
Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games. I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
I wonder if these are actual outlines or rough drafts of games that are really unfinished. Or if this is all just made up. I'm getting slower. Whoa.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
Enter. Oh, look at that. I can walk normal again. Stand on an X, staring at your... what? What? Are these all game ideas?
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games.
Oh.
Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
No.
Well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle.
All right.
Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
Okay then. Oh, what is this room? Huh. Huh.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon.
Okay,
You're gonna see
Mr.
it a
Narrator. Alright. What are these 3 little dots?
So that seems to be it, right?
Huh.
You walk down a corridor, you solve the puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough.
Yeah.
Alright, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Alright, let's do it. Whoa! What am I supposed to do here now?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world. Either way, I think that the point is the same, is that most of the time you don't get to know what you're missing, or even that you're missing anything. That's not your role as a player. So if your role here is not to understand, then what is it?
To play? Oh, this game again. You are now exiting.
So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier,
Yep.
tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow. It could even be that the Stairs game and the puzzle game are literally connected in between this and the entering game. There's a bigger picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in, some larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Wonder what this level's gonna be about now. Oh, look, a house. I see stairs. I suppose I'm supposed to climb
Let's
up
talk
them.
about video game development for a second.
Okay, Mr.
Every
Narrator.
video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do.
All right.
So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development. To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source.
That
Like
sounds
all
familiar.
engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly.
Okay.
One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well. The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work they're going to end up making. You
Whoa!
pay attention to the architecture in Coda's games to
Falling.
notice how they seem to stem from an engine that's very good at producing linear, boxy corridors.
Help me out of here, Mr. Narrator. Oh. Oh, there's more. Okay. Thought I was stuck. Oh, I wanted to see what that thing was. Alright then. Huh. Where am I supposed to go? Oh! What was that sound? Nothing over there. Doesn't look like there's anything over here either. it's the gate behind me closing. Whoa! Elevator. Ah.
This prison,
Oops.
funny enough, in CODA'S original design,
Oopsie.
the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that.
Thank you.
This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled Playable Games that was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else.
Well, that sounds boring.
I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere.
Don't blame you.
There wasn't.
Oh. So where am I going? I guess go down the stairs. I like this game so far. This is neat. Doesn't feel quite like Stanley Parable, but...
It's the puzzle again.
Oh.
With the exact same solution as the last time.
As I was saying, this doesn't feel quite like the Stanley Parable, but feels kind of similar to it. Hasn't given me any direction to go yet, whether I follow the narrator or don't. But let's see what lies ahead.
There's still no clear indication of what makes this puzzle so special that CODA is going to return to it over and over. But
I don't know.
I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
Okay, Mr. Narrator. Oh.
Here, CODA begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Okay then. I guess this is where the choices come in, huh? I guess number 1? Don't remember how I spelled it. I'm trying to remember. It's so important that we get out of here. We must escape this prison. Can you think harder? Oh, do I leave now? Or keep speaking with them? Okay, I can go. Oh, there's more. Alright. Hi again. How'd you get here? Was there a puzzle you had to pass through? No, I think I've been right there this entire time. No, I've been right here. I suggest you go and see the puzzle sometime. It's not meant to be solved, and you can sit in the black space in the middle. Who are you?
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor of the level.
Ooh, this is nice. Ooh, am I outside? Where am I?
It's a lamppost. Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out.
Huh.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea behind them. And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
April 2009, huh? As you can walk around, I can find notes. You can see the notes from other players who played this game, huh?
So first off,
Whoa.
I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that we're going to see have been written by Coda.
Of course.
This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after I met him at a weekend game jam in Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me.
I can jump with
And I
spacebar?
cooled off eventually.
I can jump by pressing spacebar.
Feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them.
Oh,
Either way,
gee, thanks.
To me, they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
I wonder what happens if I do read all these notes.
But
Now I'm
it's ironic,
curious.
isn't it? That in playing this game and seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and see the voices in their head and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy in-person socializing. I could just get to know you through your work. I think this is why I always liked Coda's games so much, is because it felt like they let me have that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally into his world. And then I feel less lonely too.
What does it say? Can assure you guarantee there's an acorn somewhere in the sailors. Looking for someone to talk with. refuse to believe. Ah. Huh? How do I open that door? I guess I can't. It looks like go backwards now. Alright. Can I jump down? No, I can't. Where am I supposed to go from here? Well, I've been recording for quite some time now, so I'm going to be moving this to part 2 now. And I'm going to end this video here. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell for push notifications so you don't miss a thing. Thank you very much for watching. This is Games Nathan Likes, signing off. Good night, everyone.